Hello and welcome to Earthfile. I'm Ayola Kasim. For 2 weeks, delegates from nearly 200 countries gathered here in Baku, Azerbaijan to set financial goals to tackle climate change. But it wasn't just all about negotiations. Ideas were exchanged, innovations shared in the meeting rooms, also in the pavilions on the elements needed for the just transitions. Today on the program, we'll look at one of them, which is this green skills needed for energy transition. Do stay with us.
I invite parties to turn to agenda sub-items 11A, new collective quantified goal on climate finance. I hereby invite the CMA to adopt the draft decision contained in document CMA/2024 L.22.
In the early hours of Sunday, the 24th of November, countries at the COP29 summit in Baku adopted a $300 billion a year global finance target. For some, it was the best that could be achieved considering the current global trends, while for those who need it most, it is a disappointing deal. But before the 24th of November, different conversations on the way forward were held in various events within the Baku Olympic Stadium. On the second day of COP29, the United Nations Secretary General led the conversation on the topic Africa's Green Momentum, Harnessing Renewables for Industrialization. This high-level event looked at the progress in 2024 and set the agenda for action in 2025. He highlighted the challenge the continent faces in achieving its energy transition goals.
We urgently need developed countries to honor their commitment to double finance for adaptation to at least $40 billion a year by 2025. And we need meaningful contributions to the new loss and damage fund and to ensure it is a destination for innovative finance. Excellencies, Africa can become a green energy powerhouse, driving industrialization and prosperity for your people. So let's work together to make that a reality. And let's drive these agendas from COP29, the next Africa Climate Summit, and beyond. And let's see Africa where it belongs, at the forefront of the renewables revolution.
To meet Africa's renewable energy priorities and investment needs, the Nairobi Declaration on Climate Change and Call to Action, adopted at the conclusion of the inaugural Africa Climate Summit in 2023, set a concrete target of 300 gigawatts of renewable energy by 2030 and committed to advance climate-positive growth. Africa's green momentum was reinforced at COP28 in Dubai, where the leaders on the continent said the Nairobi Declaration vision was translated into real-world action through collaborative efforts like the Accelerated Partnership for Renewables in Africa and the African Green Industrialization Initiative. In Baku, the leaders from Africa and partner countries looked at how to expand commitments to supporting renewable energy and green infrastructure projects in Africa and how to boost the workforce.
I had a conversation with one former president of a particular country. He said in the years when they started talking about renewable energy, he kind of deployed renewable energy, solar energy in his community. But after a few months or years, the whole system broke down. So it sent a negative impression. The population was thinking that when you are talking about renewable energy, it's energy for the poor people, which is in itself poor. So in order to make this, to avoid this kind of thing, technology transfer for energy solutions should be very efficient and affordable for the countries.
Some say it is time for those on the continent to take the lead.
We need right now to close the gap on our electricity deficit, $25 billion a year going forward, every year. To plan for the 1.5 or 1.6 billion, you need more than that. No country has industrialized by accident. Deliberate effort, sacrificing some short-term benefits, quick political wins for longer-term wealth creation and jobs. So the skills required are many. from basic skills to even advanced skills to be able to manage future energy systems. But the opportunity is there. Our youth are hungry for knowledge. They want to move forward. It is leadership, visionary leadership, sacrifice today for tomorrow, but also transparency and accountability. We can't waste money anymore.
It has been said that renewable energy have the potential to provide electricity to the 600 million Africans currently deprived of it, create jobs and stimulate industrialization. Experts also say that every dollar invested in renewable energies will yield 93 cents, and the deployment of renewable energies will progressively lead to lower costs, unlike fossil fuels. For some, the solutions are clear, but for the continent to boost the development of renewable energy resources, each African country must have a clear vision and draw up laws distinct from those applied to fossil fuels.
So take Nigeria. You have no excuse. Yeah, you have oil. Do like the Norwegians. They use gas to develop their country, transition their country. They have some of the best solar research centers in Norway, but they don't have enough sun. They have gas. They didn't say because we have gas, we will not do renewables. No, it is a deliberate choice. Nigeria, you have gas, probably more gas than oil. You're rich. Put some money into the future. Put some money into educating your youth to be the best solar technologies. Why? Unlike Norway, you have a lot of sun in the north. Decide that you want to be a renewables leader.
Nigeria faces significant challenges in its power sector, including frequent power cuts, poor power quality, and limited electricity access in rural areas, while urban areas fare far better with an access rate of 89%. Significant gaps between electricity demand and supply, as well as aging infrastructure, cause frequent power outages and substandard power quality. For instance, the Nigerian Electricity Systems Operator in recent months reported a daily peak demand of 20 gigawatts against an installed generation capacity of 13 gigawatts. Yet, the all-time highest generation is merely 5.8 gigawatts of electricity. Despite being one of the continent's largest economies, Nigeria's national grid generally lags behind other African countries in electricity reliability. This is Bakuro, a community located in Obafemi Owode local government area of Ogun State, southwest Nigeria, which is about 42 kilometers from Lagos, the country's commercial capital. The people in Bakuro, like those in many communities around the area for many years, have lamented what they described as inequitable distribution of power.
My name is Peace Osagede, and I'm the face behind Urge Store, and we deal on clippers, salon accessories.
Peace opens her shop in Bakuro around 8:30 in the morning and closes at 7 p.m. Constant electricity for her business is a problem.
I always need to test the clippers so that the customers will be sure they are really working before they go with it, or test any of the accessories that requires power supply. And it's been a major challenge. I have to use paid spot to power them, to test them. So, and then having been introduced and using the ready-made power capsule, it has really helped me to provide that power, solve the power problem on demand. So each time a customer wants to buy something, I know I have enough power, and the ambience of the shop is perfect.
What started as a university project at the University of Toronto, Canada, today provides a solution that bridges the energy accessibility gap in rural Nigeria. Olu knows too well the negative impact of lack of electricity in daily life. He also knows that a perfect solution will test his team's skill in a new industry in Nigeria many are ready to bet against.
Someone like my mom, who is she's part of the 100 million Nigerians living in energy poverty, but the challenge is that the solution that was designed to exist doesn't solve the problem for her sustainably. So another issue was that my mom is logged into, so my mom traveled, she's an Ekiti woman, she travels to Ekiti to, sometimes she spends like some days, 3 days, 1 week, depending on whatever she's traveling to Ekiti for. When she's not at home, she has to pay for that power. So because she's bonded by this 5 years contract that she has to, she just have to use, she has to pay for that system every single time because of that contractual agreement. I just felt this is not right, number one, and more importantly, given the fact that I have managed a bookshop for my dad, so my dad also had run a small bookshop, I managed that bookshop for him. I know how tough it is for some of these people to, especially low-income people, to like bring money out, and when they are bonded, when they have to pay for something that they are not even using in the name of like signing a contract, I just feel it's like an economic bondage.
Learning from the challenges family members and friends faced with different electricity solutions provided that failed the sustainability tests, Olu got a group that constantly work on how best to solve the problem of energy access.
The goal is just to make a lot of people happy and solve a lot of people's problem, because I mean, I think I got a quote somewhere that says the best way to be happy is to make a lot of people happy, right? And happiness is very contagious, as long as everybody around you is happy. So I felt if I can make that Baba Sule in Olomi Academy, or one Olu in one anywhere, I'm going to make a lot of impact on those people. And I mean, that's why even innovations that we build, we are more sometimes always looking at those people, and that's because that was my own background. So we're always trying to see how can we build a lot of things that will solve their problem, because we observe that some of the solutions that exist are just built for a certain class. And you know, Nigeria is a place where there's the diversity around like economic class is so wide, where you could be in a certain economic class and don't even know what anybody's doing. I actually have friends in Toronto that don't even know, they live in Nigeria and don't even know that there's no power in Nigeria. Like, they just tell, and it's not their fault, it's just that it's not something that they understand.
While many worry about what is termed lent and lost, which was often the fate suffered in the past by loans provided to finance solar home systems for rural households, Olu's team also work on the quality of the system they provide and how well the users had been informed about it beforehand. Technical unreliability and also unawareness of the system's limitations are both factors which can contribute to an end user's disappointment about performance and ultimately create reluctance to continue usage.
People don't have more knowledge about what this can do. The moment we tell them that, okay, this is 2.5, this is 1.5, so they just want, I'm the owner of my thing, you can't just tell me. That's what they feel most times. They say, I'm the owner of my thing, you can't just tell me what to do. And it makes us start working extraordinary, because you have damaged some components which we have to take time and start looking at it. So the moment people are able to, so now we now work on our protective module there. On our protective module, I can limit this to 500 watts for you to use. So either you plug 1000 watts, you are not going to get any results. You just strip off immediately. So that's where we started getting, the more problems we get, the more we are able to resolve it over time. Because the moment we see a lot of problems coming from the customer, and we have a lot of backlogs, so we have to just try to like, how can we improve on this? So we start on our protective module and see that, okay, this is our protective module. How can we stop customers from damaging the system? So sometimes we teach. So it's not basically we want to say, we teach also to know that this is what you are getting, you have to understand what you are getting. So you not give me problem, I will not give you problem. Because the moment you are not okay with your product, you start complaining, and it gives us problems to start, okay, what is actually going on? So we have to balance that. So the moment I start teaching you and you're ready to listen, we enjoy each other and we're able to enjoy the product.
Like all the members of the team, Adedeji Aduragbemi is able to work effectively by combining his previous experience, people skill, and his engineering skill to provide a sustainable energy solutions for the rural communities they serve.
This is my positive.
Having come from an underserved community in Ekpe Ibejuleki area in Lagos State, Adura says what keeps him going is being able to solve a problem that affects many people across the country.
I just need like a push in terms of how energy can be sustained in so many parts of the country, because energy brings even economic growth to our country. And you can see if there's no energy, there's no way we can sustain for a longer period. The environment is just where you have to look for a solution to their problem and can see how you can in your own way, because the moment now we have so many small solar systems that is just majorly for light and just for your light. Students want to read. Some students will tell you that I don't have light, so I cannot read. So it just brings an edict to you that you have gone to a state that in life that, okay, I've passed through this stage. So how can I help the students? So leading to getting a solar system in terms of maybe a bulb or just a light for them to read, to go to where they want to go in times of darkness and all the rest. And also in the environment we see ourselves today, we just see that we are moving forward. Even though we are not saying somebody to push us, everybody is trying to make sure everything works out for every one of us. So I think that also helps me also to see that, okay, this is how I can also help my community, even though I'm just a small boy and trying to.
And being able to solve these problems have kept the team going since 2019. With support from University of Toronto, Olu and his team have won MIT Energy Prize and many others, became a finalist for the Earthshot Prize, and formed many partnerships along the way.
What Earthshot gave to us was like insane credibility. So when Earthshot happened, I mean, people that would probably not even, people that had discounted what we are doing kind of saw more credibility with Earthshot. With Earthshot, we got like time-based invention, we got featured in Fast Company, Bloomberg, global journals, global dailies, and that automatically just boomerang. It was just boomerang. And more importantly, I think what Earthshot does for us was also bring us in front of people.
The team is trying out a new product casing using this 3D printer. Should the trial pass all the sustainability tests, it will add to their product list. At the moment, Ready has evolved from a one-product to a 6-product company within a short period, combining both software technologies with hardwares to solve the energy access challenges.
This project we're working on called the Ready Capsule V2. The idea is, what if I want more energy and I don't want to buy all of the hardware that comes with the battery pack? Right? Meaning, I just want to increase my battery capacity. That's why we did the V2. So this is a modular system, works like your typical AAA battery. You can connect many of these batteries using like a shelf model, where you just plug them into the shelf, and then it just superpositions or multiplies the amount of energy you can get while using just one single panel. Right? So that's the beauty of this. And again, to also explore other applications of what our systems can do, this can be connected into an electric vehicle. So like your electric motorcycle, your electric tricycle. So these things are just plugins that you put in. And through a payment model, you can go to a charge station, swap your batteries, and then take already charged batteries and just swap them in. So instead of having to wait for a long time, like what you have in conventional cars, instead of you to wait for a long time for your battery to charge from 0 to 100, you just go to the charge station. Instead of a filling station this time, you go to a charge station, just pick up the battery and swap, pick the battery and swap, and then you're good to go. So that happens in 2-3 minutes, and you're good to go, compared to what we conventionally have. So that's where we have to use 3D printing.
We, as a team, we currently have a myriad of software products that we've launched and some that we're working on. One of them in particular is Tempon. So Tempon is a rental marketplace that basically connects rentees and renters. So you basically have an item to rent. So we just facilitate that between you and the person that wants to rent, right? We also, as a company, utilize that same platform to also list some of our assets, which is the Ready Capsule. Currently, we're working on Wheels. So on the base level, Wheels is supposed to be a central back office for our rental operations, right? It has different verticals to it. There is the ambassador side of Wheels, which is basically supposed to monitor, facilitate the ambassadors. So for context sake, ambassadors are basically sub-distributors, right? They act in partnership with Ready. They basically receive some of our assets and rent it out to customers. So Wheels, as a platform, we are able to record these assets. We're able to see the ongoing rentals. We're able to see overdue rentals. We're able to see rentals that have been returned. We're able to see how much has been earned by these ambassadors. We currently have a web application for that and also a mobile app for the ambassadors. And we have Pluck. So Pluck is an asset financing project, basically to help low-income earners be able to have access to some of our products by paying instrumentally. And we've learned a lot, because the beauty of the business, the ready business, is that we started on core rentals. And the reason why we are doing rental is because we want people to be able to afford the system. So selling is easy. You can just pack and sell. That one is the easy part. It's the most easiest thing that we can do. Anybody can do that. But what's quite challenging is the rental part, because when you are renting a system, you need to verify who you are renting the system to. You need to educate them about how to use the system, especially for a system that has the potential to get damaged. Then you need to rent it out. Then when you rent it out, you need to collect it back. So we have to design the whole system, and that was what Temple was designed for, to manage that entire workflow. So you take it in, you take it out, you have to collect it back and then store it again.
It has been said that the switch to a carbon-free economy is the biggest economic opportunity of our era. The International Energy Agency's Africa Energy Outlook 2022 stated that 4 million additional energy-related jobs are required in Africa, which can open doors for women, young professionals, and other underrepresented, underserved, and vulnerable groups.
One is our traditional grid system, which we are all very familiar with.
Professor Priti Parik's research at the University College London focuses on infrastructure engineering and international development. Her works over the years have looked at the expectation to boost socio-economic well-being of newly connected households, who will continue climbing up the energy ladder. Speaking to investors in the China Pavilion on the climate finance for energy transition in sub-Saharan Africa, back in Baku, Professor Priti said the market is there. She also told me that customized payment plans could help in lighting up more areas in Nigeria and indeed Africa.
And what we found is that for a lot of those populations, affordability remains a barrier. So we found that people would sign up to solar products and services, people under the age of 45 and people who paid on their phone on a weekly basis were the ones who were comfortable and afforded those services. But then we had an aging demographic above the age of 45 who struggled to keep up with those payments. So our recommendation to the private sector was that you need to come up with more customized, tailored package plans for people of different demographics and age groups, because otherwise they will not keep up with it. And also sometimes there's a lack of knowledge or understanding of how those products and services work. There are communities which are very, very remote, and the last mile, the cost to connect them to any form of solution is very, very high. Also having the supply chains where we have distributors, where we have shops, is the challenge. So I think the challenge in Sub-Saharan Africa is to get to the last mile household, to get to the last person who needs electricity desperately. We need the supply chains, we need the policy, but we need climate financing.
Energy transition involves a fundamental transformation in the way we produce, distribute, and consume energy. The primary drivers of energy transition are the need to mitigate climate change, reduce greenhouse gas emissions, improve energy security, and promote sustainable development. In 2021, Nigeria passed the Climate Change Act. The architects of the act said there are provisions in the law to boost the energy transition process.
In Section 22 of the Act, you would find that it is a requirement of every ministry, department, and agency to have a climate change desk, superintended by somebody not below the rank of a director. So you have to produce these people from those primary, secondary, and tertiary educations, get them into the system, and already there are jobs waiting for them. So A nation has to think and think ahead and prepare its people. You don't have to wait because the world is moving, the world is changing. So that's the responsibility of everyone to be on board.
Well, that's our show for today. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week.